Just 5 races remain then in the 2024 FIA Formula 2 Championship, and the feature race is here at the Baku City Circuit. Feature races last 29 laps around here. It's unpredictable as anything. Welcome to what is going to be an all-time classic. Let's get set up and ready with the story so far.
There's nowhere like this place anywhere else on the planet. It is animated, it is all action. Both Campos cars have gone all the way to the wall. Absolutely bizarre. Kimi Antonelli with provisional pole. For sure takes it back.
Ooh, what a lap.
Formula 2 goes racing on the streets of Baku. Oh my word, so much speed being carried through those corners.
Flat spot on the left front for Christian Mansell.
Trying to get to the apex first, and he's done it. Mini takes the lead on debut.
Lightning reactions required, great control.
Here comes Joshua Dirksen, best chance he's had all race. Dirksen takes the lead. Isaac Hadjar, he would be thinking, where are the safety cars? We've finally got an intervention to reset the race. Oh, there's a chance there for second place. Through goes Crawford. Contact! They're sprayed all over the road. Someone get the president on the phone. Joshua Dirksen takes the checkered flag. It's Dirksen's day.
We all know what is at stake when we go racing in Azerbaijan. There is so much that could go wrong. A mixture of old and new. The city circuit weans itself around the Caspian Sea landscape in glory. Welcome to round 12's feature race in FIA Formula 2 2024. The drivers have to contend with 20 corners, over 6 kilometres of tricky streets, 2 DRS zones, top speed of 335 kilometres, that's 208 miles per hour. The highest speeds of the entire season is here on the city streets as well. We welcome you up to the commentary box. I'm Josh Birch. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi as well. And Omi, compared to the gloom we've had over the last few days, it's beautiful sunshine at the moment, and the city streets are ready for what's going to be an awesome feature race. Richard Verschoor on pole position, Andrea Kimi Antonelli in second place. Everything could go wrong, but everything could also go right today for the championship.
Everything could go right. We could have a new championship leader by the end of today. Formula 2 at Baku is just brilliant, crazy and wild. Cannot wait for this feature race to get underway, with also sunny skies as well. Richard Verschoor, as you mentioned, starting on pole for the second time in his career in a feature race, as he tries to become our 16th different winner of the year, and only the pollster has only been able to win from pole so far once this season, and that was in the Silverstone feature race. We look at the grid.
Niels Cullen lines up 22nd of the grid, so he'll probably be 40 seconds back by the end of lap 1. Jose Maria Marti and Isaac Hadjar alongside 21st and 20th after brake failures in qualifying. Rafael Villagomez is in 19th with Emil Cordial, 18th, and Ollie Goethe qualifying in 17th after locking up in qualifying. Rito Miata crashed yesterday, the only retirement in the sprint race. He starts 16th alongside Enzo Fittipaldi. Juan Manuel Carrera is 14th, alongside him is Dennis Hauger on the 7th row of the grid. Paul Aron is alongside Luke Browning on row 6 as well, 12th and 11th for Browning. Top 10 though, Christian Mansell, who was on pole yesterday in the sprint race. Alongside him is Jack Crawford. Gabriel Mini is 8th alongside yesterday's race winner Joshua Dirksen, lining up in 7th place as well. 6th on the grid, the 5th row, that takes us all the way with Gabriel Bortoletto and Kushmaini. Watch out for Bortoletto, a demon starter, and he has the inside line down towards turn number 1. 4th on the grid for Zane Maloney, with Victor Martins lining up in 3rd position. Front row of the grid though, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Richard Verschoor taking pole position here. Can the Dutchman get forward and win here today? Or will it be the Italian's day of Antonelli to win his 2nd feature race of the year and his 3rd of the entire season? So much intrigue ahead of this one. Pit stops also going to come into effect here, Amy. So it's ultra soft to the medium, and nobody knows exactly what the crossover is going to be because the track is still so dirty and it's changed so much of the weekend. Any data they learned in the limited practice is gone now.
Yep, absolutely. Vashul not able to gather anything from yesterday as well, using the tyre they used for practice. That's why Vashul was so poor, and we could see a completely different pace from him today in the Trident. But yeah, as I mentioned, only one so far this season has upholstered and won the feature race. That's how chaotic the feature races have been so far this season, and it was Isaac Hadjar at Silverstone, and even in that race, he didn't even cross the line first. It was Crawford who crossed the line first. He got a penalty, and it was Hadjar who inherited the win as well. But let's see whether Richard Vachon can win from pole position, become our 16th different winner. But there's a lot to go. He's been at the front mostly in sprint races. Today he's at the front of a feature race. Let's see how he's going to fare with a pit stop as well, and soon we'll be able to also get his thoughts before the 29 lap contest today.
Absolutely, there was 20. Let's have them now.
We were P1 in all the laps we did in qualifying. Very happy with that, especially because we were struggling quite a bit more in FP. So I wasn't super confident going in qualifying, but from the first lap, to be honest, the car felt good. I felt confident, especially on the braking, and we managed to get some good laps in. So really happy, of course. The race is quite long. We have the soft tire now as the prime compound, which makes things interesting. Seems like they're degrading a bit quicker than the medium. So strategy will be important. But to be honest, I just have to focus on the start, get the lead after turn 1. Do my race. I know we are quick, and then we'll see what happens.
To the castle section they go. There's an awful lot to watch out for here as well in terms of what could be a deciding factor come qualifying, the pit stops here after qualifying. It certainly is a mixed up grid as well, and the newbies coming in. I'm liking what we could see for Mini, for Mansell, Browning. They're all sort of up there, right, ready to contend. And we saw what Gabriel Mini had yesterday with his pace. It was unbelievable. Coming straight from F3 in Prema to F2's Prema with no transfer issues.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fantastic stuff for Gabriele Mini, holding off for the podium with Victor Martins just 200s behind as well. So Martins is going to try to get that podium today. He'll start in P3 as he does so. Championship. Well, the championship could change today with Hadjar 165 points, Bortoleto 158.5 due to, of course, the half point at Monza as Hadjar and as Bortoleto and Hauger had a dead heat in that one, as well as they're coming up towards the line. Now in qualifying, of course, the improvement at the end was quite a lot due to the Campos's. It was due to the Campos's brake failure. It was an ideal build-up with the preparation for all of these drivers. So it did mean that you had to deliver. Not all drivers were able to deliver. So today in the feature race, they've got a chance with more opportunities to try and make their way through. And of course, today is where the big points are won. Hadjar needs to try and make his way into the points today to reduce whatever points he's going to lose, if any. We have seen in Formula 2, the advantage can shift very, very quickly due to safety cars, especially around a circuit like this.
As it stands, Gabriel Bortoleto would take the lead in the championship if it was to finish with Bortoleto 6th and Hadjar in 20th. But pit stops over this next hour will 100% keep the gaps different. We're not going to be in for the usual. This is going to be very much a cutthroat race as they line up on the grid. Richard Forshaw on the pictures we're watching. He's on the far most left-hand side. On the right, on the inside line down to turn 1 is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Niels Kulin lines up at the back. His teammate won yesterday. Kulin, after a restart, was already 13 seconds back by the time they got down to turn 5. We're all set then for 29 laps of the Baku City Circuit for round 12's feature race of FIA Formula 2 in 2024. The green flag is in the back. It's eyes to the lights then as they come on. 3, 4, 5. Out and go! And it's a good start from Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Joshua Johnson gets through, and there's a stall on the line, and there's a big accident, huge accident, and this will immediately be a red flag. Jose Maria Marti going over the back of Cushman. Was it Gabriel Bortoleto? I'm confirmed it was. Red flag, race is stopped, understandably immediately. A start line accident like that has no other way but a red flag to come out. So it was I saw the 10 car of Bortoleto, so it's the 9 car that has stalled on the grid. That's Kushmaini as the red flag is out immediately. So there's the 10 car, so it's Kushmaini who stalled on the grid. Jose Maria Marti has clipped him. I think Rafael Villagomez was involved in that as well, but Marti has gone up and over at the line, and a huge accident immediately stops the race, and that was a big one, Omi, as well. That was always what we feared. There's nowhere to go and blindsided.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge accident off the line. That is not what we wanted to see. We've seen it many times in Formula 2 where a car is stalled and has been hit when everyone is not able to take avoiding action. But a huge accident and understandably the red flag out on the opening lap.
I understand that, Jose. That's Kushmani. He's out of the car and is okay. A huge accident there. The car's completely destroyed. There's Andrea Mantinelli in second position. We're watching him coming through the castle section with the red flag out. So we didn't even. So the race, it would be a total restart to the procedure because the race was stopped before the first sector line. So any chance? And there, miracle is Jose Maria Marti, and he is okay, and he's out of the car after going up and over. And we understand that every driver is okay, as that is Isaac. Is that Isaac Hadjar out as well? Now, who's out? Well, we're trying to understand who's out because the timing screens aren't working on our monitor. It's Ollie Goethe. Ollie Goethe is out of the race. Kushmani's out of the race, and Jose Maria Marti is out of the race. There are they confirmed. And look at Kushmani's car. It is absolutely destroyed. Talk us through it, Omi, as we get the start lights.
Yep, great to see they're both okay. So they're short of pole position. Maney goes absolutely nowhere. You can see everyone takes avoiding action. It's Goethe first of all who's into the back of Maney, and then Marty also hitting as well. So a huge accident straight away from the off as we take a look at another view, and then they're both going to hit it for either side. That is absolutely big, and it's great to see that all three drivers are okay after a huge incident.
This is going to be a super slow-mo. So Fittipaldi nearly hits Maney as well. And Hadjar goes left immediately. He gets out of it, but then he's going to have Jose Maria Marti come across his bow. Here we go, look. Up and over. A huge, huge accident for Marti, Maney, and Ollie Goethe. Goethe sort of started that off because he did not see the stalled Maney. He hits the back. Marti then gets collected by Goethe. And it's just a concertina effect. I must admit, credit where credit's due. Great avoidance from Niels Kuhlen there. Not to hit Jose Maria Marti, because I would have expected if anybody was to be involved in the start line crash, it would have been him. There's Marti getting up and giving the thumbs up straight away. Roll over hoop doing its job.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, Halo being critical as well, and it's great to see them all okay. It's always very scary when you see a car stall like that. We've seen some big accidents. Of course, Fittipaldi knows that. Fittipaldi was nearly involved in it once again. But of course, we had one in Jeddah in 2021, also Abu Dhabi in 2018. So we do see it quite a bit. As now we do have the cars all in the pit lane and the red flag out, and we'll get then racing once again soon as the clear up is done on the start finish straight here in Azerbaijan.
They do have the option to do another standing start. That's in the rules, but we'll wait to see what happens. There's Marty with his halo scratched, so you can see what type of accident he's had over there as well. So the halo doing a fantastic job, as well as the rollover hoop. F2 safety a lot more improved over with this brand new chassis they've come in. It's a stronger halo than we've had ever before, and stronger side impacts as well. Of course, learning lessons from the tragic passing of Antoine Hubert with a side-on impact at the Spa round a couple of years ago. And that is the side, that's a radiator cooler on the side of the car. It's just absolute bits for F2 cars. It's going to leak oil onto the track as well that they're going to have to sweep up and get ready. So this is going to be a very lengthy red flag here. Lucky that there's nothing else on today in terms of support series, so we've got time to get this sorted. Right, me and Omi are going to hand over to the world feed with Alex Jakes and Alex Bundle for a few moments, and we'll come back to you if there's any more news. Red flag is out then here at the Baku feature race after the start line crash. Here's Alex Jakes and Alex Bundle.
Of the field, the order when we neutralised things was for sure Antonelli, Martins, Maloney and Bortoletto. As you see, the Williams Academy driver Luke Browning, and he is one of our 3 grads to Formula 2 this weekend. A driver who has a sprint race under his belt now, as does this man, and he's got a trophy to show for it. The runner-up in the Formula 3 Championship of 2024, graduating to Formula 2 in place of Oliver Behrman. And Prema very happy with his performance yesterday after his car was out of alignment for at least 8 laps of the contest.
Monumentally impressive, Gabriele Mini. Yesterday, rocks up, says, good to meet you all. points at a trophy, goes, I think that one looks like it might be mine, and takes off into the distance. Very good effort. You do wonder if Prama's do slightly better out of alignment here after the brilliant qualifying lap we saw from Oliver Behrman a little while back. But Gabriele Mini doing a brilliant job, in all seriousness, to take that car to the end of the race and battled for it in a podium finishing position. It was the first win of the year for Joshua Dirksen, second win for AIX Racing, and he really controlled it, demonstrated the experience he built through the season and found his way to the front of the field to grab the full complement of points available for the sprint race.
We have a red flag out after only 26 seconds of the feature race after a crash on the start line here in Baku. Just to reiterate, all three drivers involved are okay, and Maini, Goethe and Marty are all right. We go back to the reason why that we're under this red flag. You're looking to the left-hand side at the yellow car. The field tried to spray around, then Goethe can't react in time, and then this is into the first turn with Verschoor holding the lead.
Yeah, Martin's having a bit of a go round the outside there, and actually that leaves him a bit under pressure from Maloney, but I suspect these drivers will be being told around now on the radio that this race is extremely likely to be red flag, which is why we're seeing the kind of line astern just waiting for the stoppage effectively as they make their way down towards turn 3. Here's how it looked from the steering wheel of Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah, it was a good start for Antonelli, wasn't it, Omi? As I was just coming back into the comments box as well, but really was side-by-side stuff.
Yeah, Kimi Antonelli tried to go on the attack, and then of course they were told that there is most likely to be a red flag from what everyone would have seen. Some drivers would have been able to see it further back. Let's ride on board with Maloney. Poor start compared to Victor Martins. Went on the attack, so it was Martin who got the best start there as well. He tried to go around the outside, that won't work, and then Victor Martins going to get on the power. These started a brilliant scrap yesterday in this sprint race, and today Martin's just hanging on to the position, so the top 3 all maintaining places with Maloney trying to attack them as well when we went down the straight. And we ride on board now with Gabriel Bortoleto. Critical for him that it was not him who was involved in that one, or that could have seen the championship once again take another switch, as Dirksen was close to the wall but able to get by on Gabriel Bortoleto, attempting to, at least by the time that they got to the braking zone of turn number 2, and the Brazilian driver just ahead of Dirksen.
So red flag is out. Let's take another look at it. So this is going to be for the complete start. Is it a factor of these cars just not working with the clutches? Because no one stood a chance of avoiding that. There's another car involved there as well. Villa Gomez got a whack to the wall. I wonder if his car's perfectly okay. He got through the melee, but yeah, this is Hadjar's point of view. Yeah, he was perfectly clear. Oh, and just inches.
Side.
That's
Oh my god, mate, I saw it coming. Your car was stopped. I hope they're okay, man. It was bad.
Shades of Fittipaldi a couple of years ago, wasn't it, Omi, as well, in Saudi?
Yeah, shades of that, shades of, as I mentioned, Abu Dhabi 2018 as well, when we had that start. So we have seen it quite a bit in Formula 2 with these stalls, and luckily most of the time we are able to avoid any drivers that do stall, but there is going to be times where cars just aren't able to go to the side, aren't just able to avoid that easily, especially if you are the car starting directly behind. It was a bit more further back this time, but with the sun out as well, you're focused on so many different things in the cockpit at that moment. You're of course trying to get a good start, you're battling amongst other drivers, focused on where they are, looking in your mirrors as well, so it can be very hard to react for these drivers as Gabriele Mini gets ready then for the restart of this race, talking with the Alpine Academy and Prema all down there as well as we wait the restart on lap number 2 then. And Jack Crawford also watching on the podium yesterday, hoping to do the same today as well.
So let's catch up with the YouTube chat as Caden asks, do you guys think that Bortoleto can lead the championship after the race? I think it's a possibility with Hadjar being back, but that restart's not going to help him better. There's Marty, looked, and he's perfectly okay.
Yeah, I think with Bortoleto, I think he's got a huge opportunity by the end of today. But while right now it may seem that he's got opportunity, Formula 2 races change very, very quickly. It can all change around in a second. So who knows? We could find ourselves with Hadjar in position last week after Bortoletto's qualifying at Monza when he went off into the gravel, we would have expected Hadjar to be gaining a lot of points and basically taking the championship fully away from Bortoletto. Instead, Bortoletto reignited the championship fight, did a last to first, so we've seen stranger things in Formula 2.
Indeed, that start was one of them as well. Kane says, oh no. Dio Nat says, geez, that was epic. It was quite a huge accident. The fans now taking their photos. Everyone's okay, of course, so this is just a clean-up now of the entire grid. So we'll wait. There's Andrea Giovinazzi in second position. Let's hand back over to Alex Shakes and Alex Brunt until we have more news as the red flag is out.
Out of more relaxed character in Baku than the intensity of Monza, where he was in FP1, he was in the wall, he was in a press conference where it was standing room only, announced as Lewis Hamilton's replacement, and back to the day job before he focuses on that build-up process of graduating to Formula 1, which is the aim for all of the drivers in the field, including Victor Martins, who you're looking at the moment. Order for the restart is Richard Verschoor, then Kimi Antonelli, Victor Martins, and then Zane Maloney. And you can see the numbers there as they will form up. And we move through. Car number 10 is Bortoletto, so that corresponds. And it's how you were on the timing page for the moment. I don't think there will have to be much reordering, but that's just a procedure that we get. And the order for the restart, still the clear-up going on. You've got the flatbed trucks clearing, still got to clear the Campos, still got to clear, and they are clearing the Invicta. Again, just want to remind everyone, because it's an early start if you're watching in Europe, and you have, if you're just seeing the red flag and cars strewn over the grid hatchings. We've had a start line incident after Kushmani, I should say, was unable to get off the line. He's okay. So are the two drivers that hit him, Oliver Goethe and Pepe Marti.
Teams plugging in, a lot of laptop action going on, and what they'll be looking at is their start. That's what Victor Martins will be poring over. It's the only data he can look at this stage, and that's because the proximity of that data to reality is probably as close as it will ever be, with the circuit going to about the same as they get back out on the racetrack. Could easily be a standing start again here when they get back going. So they'll want to make absolutely sure they are across the best possible way to get away from the line and try to modify that. Teams trying to keep the cars cool as well. A lot of electronics sitting in the driver's area of the race car. So the umbrellas there keeping the seat cool for the driver, also keeping the electronics that sit around the driver's cockpit cool. The two rookies who found themselves lying astern at the front of the field after the first lap of the sprint race yesterday. I'm not sure that was on their bingo card, but they certainly seem to be enjoying it. The two of them, and Pepe Marti there, just getting a proper check over from the medical team.
Yeah, so he will be taken to the medical centre. He's already given us the thumbs up, but that's a really sensible thing to do. Probably mandated as well after a crash of that size.
Yes, it is. So often, and you see it with, I've had it myself, and you see it over the years, drivers do feel fine when they jump out of the car, then the adrenaline fades, and all of a sudden the bits that are going to hurt start hurting. Adrenaline is a rather magical substance which masks a lot of pain potentially, or other effects. So it's always worth, when a driver has had a big incident, and the medical teams do, just keeping them in for a little while, just until that adrenaline has fully faded away and they're feeling, and if they're still feeling well, then they get released. But a proper check over, very much the prudent solution after an impact of that magnitude.
Yeah, that'll be the case for both Miney, who took the brunt of two impacts there, and Marti, as Isaac Hadjar is talking about what happened to his teammate. It's been a dramatic weekend for Campos. Both cars in the wall and qualifying at turn number 1, parked up next to each other, Hadjar and Marti flipped over at the start of this one, but he's all right on first evidence anyway. He is going for a precautionary, go on, I can say that word at this time of the morning, check-up at the medical centre.
He's had a monumentally unlucky run, Pepe Marti. Bit of contact at the start, back in Monza, a couple of retirements in Spa. I feel for him because he's had pace throughout the year so far. His championship position, one of several drivers in the series this year actually, where his championship position really doesn't reflect the ability that he's demonstrated behind the wheel. This one, unfortunately, will be chalked up as a retirement. Did his absolute best to miss the stall car, but I'm not sure there was much any of them could do about that one. Eventually, somebody is going to be unsighted and make contact. Dennis Hauger will find himself 12th when we get going again in the MP Motorsport machine.
So Hauger just waiting for what will be the 10-minute signal that we are going back to the procedure. This is the reason that we're under the red flag. The car that was originally parked up in 5th being collected by Oliver Goethe in the orange MP Motorsport car, and then the Red Bull liveried machine of Pepe Marti, who started in 21st.
Wow, mate, that was nearly me. That was so nearly me. Oh my God. Wow, mate, honestly, you have no idea how close this was to hitting this guy. Like, wow, that was so close.
You operate on pure self-preservation instinct in that moment. You're connected to race cars since you're very, very young, and something inside you says steering wheel, not brakes, just because you know that's the way to try to get around the incident. Eventually, there will be somebody in the field who just is too unsighted to be able to react. The muscle memory of racing drivers, all the way from karting when they're 8 years old, when they dart out of the way of somebody whose spark plug's oiled up at their local kart track, to here, gives them that sense of pure muscle memory to naturally avoid these things. It looks like lightning reaction, but it's often just the practice of years and years of seeing this stuff play out. Eventually, though, even young drivers at this lofty level are just put in too much of a difficult situation to get out of. Pepe Marti there seeing the result.
Yeah, Oliver Goethe started in 17th, so he had a chance to build up a bit of momentum. Pepe Marti, the same thing, enough momentum to make contact with the car and be flipped over. You do get it across the course of a season at some point. Unfortunately, it's happened today. Rapid work, all things considered, by the enormous team of marshals who are dealing with a bit of fluid spillage from Pepe Marti's car on the right-hand side of your picture. Same thing from the impact of Miney being hit. The Alpine Academy driver, one of our 15 race winners this year, teammate to Gabriel Bortoletto. That's Rotamo Miata, who is talking with his Roden team. It is lap 2 of 29. We're under red flag conditions after a start line crash, with all drivers able to get out of the car on their own without assistance. And when we get going again, it's a feature race, so we will have a mandatory pit stop. You've got to use both compounds of tyre. You may not stop under the virtual safety car, but you may stop under the safety car, which is what our most recent feature race winner did last time out in Monza. That's how Gabriel Bortoletto went from 22nd to the win, and then he spent the second half of the race proving he was rapid anyway, Alex.
He really did, didn't he? Taking off into the distance as if to confirm it. He was rapid in the sprint race the day before as well. Worth confirming, it is a mandatory stop in Formula 2. It's not just the usage of both tyres like we have in Formula 1. They must stop in the box. This is one of the biggest pit lanes of the year, and a great big working lane as well. So it's an easier weekend for the top Formula 2 mechanics than somewhere like Monaco. Even still, it's a high-pressure situation with placement of the cars ever critical for these young drivers, and crews and equipment limited for the Formula 2 teams, which can make the pit stop a defining moment of these Formula 2 races. Limited personnel allowed to work on the cars, and it's all a factor in preparing these drivers for the next level of their motorsport careers, when they'll be driving flat out into the mobile garage of people that change the tyres on a Formula 1 car.
So the sweeping of the track going on. We've got bin bags out there to collect all the debris. It was a sea of carbon fibre on the grid, just ahead of the grid, as we had the accident. Marshall's doing a really good job. Just a reminder, we'll get the 10-minute signal. The drivers will be told. They'll be strapped into the cars. We'll leave the pit lane behind the safety car in front of this crowd that were in early to see Formula 2. and great that they were as well. Always a brilliant moment on the Grand Prix Sunday. Fascinating Formula One Grand Prix coming your way later on today. But one of the things I love about this this amalgamation of crowd that we have packed tightly in around the Baku city circuit is that they seem to be supporting absolutely everyone in the field, and that extends to F2 drivers as well.
They really are. There's no nucleation either of where they're sitting in the grandstand. You see Ferrari fans sat next to McLaren fans, sat next to Joshua Dirksen fans, Isaac Hadjar fans, and all sorts. It's great. It's a great vibe down here, and a great vibe amongst the marshals as well, who've been enjoying themselves out there in the sun, despite the fact it's really warm for them in those overalls they work in. So great to see good spirits all the way around the racetrack. Enzo Fittipaldi, driver 12th in the championship, has been a winner so far this year, just chilling out in the pit lane. I'm wondering, Jakesy, on the effect of that fluid spillage on the line down towards turn 1, if it's not entirely cleared up, which is really hard to do, actually, to eviscerate all remnants of a spillage like that. They're only 90 meters from the first corner down there, and it could well be something that affects the braking zone even, if not the start, when we get going again.
It's a really good point. I wonder if they'll move from a standing start possibility to a rolling start because of that, because it would disadvantage those on the left-hand side
but then
of
after
the
that,
grid, or the
F1 as
right-hand
well.
side of the grid. I mean, it's pretty even where the fluid has gone, but either way, I wonder if they'll go for a rolling start. Dennis Hauger, I was going to say, everywhere we go, there's a Norwegian flag when Dennis Hauger's competing. It's very much like when Robert Kubica was in Formula One. Didn't matter if it was a test day and it was freezing in Barcelona, you get a Polish flag if Robert Kubica was somewhere in attendance. It always seems to be that way with the Norwegian flag.
Do you know, I'm going to agree with Alex Jakes there, because I was at testing in 2019 when Kubica was there, and there is just a section of the grandstand with a massive Robert Kubica fan. And the fans, you could hear them from the pit lane with the cars going, Robert Kubica! Bang, 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 bang. It was unbelievable. And that was repeated for like 3 hours when he was in the car. I mean, it was non-stop. And look at the driver standings as it stands now. Bortoletto will be on 168 points, 0.5, and Hadjar 165. So, as you said, that 3.5 point advantage.
Yeah, and also, it's also very critical for him. The next round of Formula 2 is at the end of the season, Qatar and Abu Dhabi. By then, we probably expect Sauber to have made their decision.
Yes.
F3 champion, and also F2 championship leader. That will go well for his CV in the hope of getting that Sauber seat for next year. And basically, this is his last chance to prove them, because until then, he's got to wait till Qatar, where the decision is probably going to be made by.
We've got engines starting to be refired. We'll wait to see what happens, because they've taken off the red flag graphic out here as well. But yeah, you're right. The end of the season is going to be back-to-back with Qatar and Abu Dhabi in the Gulf state. So we're going to be very interested to see how it works now. They're seeing that they've got some news down there in the pit lane. We'll go back to the world feed, see if we can have anything.
Of Windy City. Or
Here we go.
City that the wind hits. We've got to that stage of the red flag chat.
Yeah, we really have. And as if by magic, the race will resume.
Somebody throw the resume. He's talking about the wind.
It's the 10-minute signal, because Brundle's into trivia about the capital city. And the driver's now back, locking in, focusing on what is to come. There is our second-place driver in the points, our Formula 3 champion of last year, trying to take the Formula 2 title. Think of the names who have done that. Third tier to second tier. Piastri's done that. Leclerc's done that. Russell's done that. If you can win in Formula 3 and Formula 2, usually, on the evidence that we've seen in the past, Formula 1 awaits.
I had the pleasure of a chat with Bruno Michel, F2, F3 CEO, at the beginning of this weekend, and he said exactly that. The drivers that manage to turn up at this level and deliver straight away, they're universally special, and they do the business. When they move through to the next stage of their motorsport career, Bortoletto, with the opportunity to do that, he's within shooting distance of the championship lead. And Jack Crawford also with a decent opportunity for a result today. Great result for him yesterday. He'll restart 10th, and it will be a rolling restart procedure, somewhat predictably, when we get going again.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do, purely because of the oil spillage in front of the grid, hatchings, and also given the unfortunate events of the opening seconds of this race. That is the right thing to do. So the 10-minute signal has been given, and everyone now back in the race suits, balaclava on, fireproof overalls on, the hands device, the crash helmets, and then game time. 25 points available for the win here, and Isaac Hadjar will find himself lining up in position, trying to make his way through the field. He rose up through the field yesterday. There he is, our championship leader. And he knows that he's got to get himself into contention. He doesn't have the advantage, Alex, that you might have at other races where the split strategy is possible. Everyone very much going in the same direction with the super soft tyres at the start. The exceptions were Juan Manuel Correa and Amory Cordial.
The one you can pull here, though, is to try and run a little bit longer on the super soft and then get a safety car, if possible, to get your pit stop in that safety car window rather than under green flag running. There's going to be a small difference between how far they can take this super soft tyre, but it could be pivotal. We know the opportunity for a safety car here is pretty big, and so they might look to play that game, but in realistic terms, as you say, Jakesy, Hadjar's got to get those moves done on track by being super fast off 18 and 19 and then getting the moves done in a straight line with the lengthened DRS zone we have for this year. Cars really moving around in those fast corners at the end of the lap, so an opportunity maybe coming off those. So it's going to be great to try and watch Hadjar move through the field.
Formula One has a set window to complete the Grand Prix within a 3-hour time period, maximum of 2 hours. Now, for Formula 2, we have a maximum of 1 hour for the feature race, but we also have a set time window. The clock is ticking down, Alex, and we have now
40 minutes
on our timing page 39 minutes of racing remaining. And so we have a completely different scenario for the drivers to try and deal with. They will not find themselves up against the laps. They'll find themselves up against the clock. Doesn't change things at the start, but will change things at the finish.
And it's going to change things strategically as well, to see how they play that now. With the move over to the soft compound tyre, which should last for a little bit longer, but when do you jump? It depends on the restart time and how the rest of the race plays out. The teams will be recalculating on the pit wall with regards to how quickly they get off that super soft tyre and then onto the soft to do the rest of the race.
So we were originally meant to have 29 laps. Gallery telling me 17 or 18 will be our effective new distance. We'll be up against the clock, 39 minutes remain, and the feature race rules state that you must make a mandatory pit stop, and we're going to condense that down into effectively a sprint race time, if you like. Yesterday we ran 21 laps, I believe. We did, trying to remember yesterday, and there is the left-hand side, 38 minutes and ticking down. So all the action condensed into a shorter race, but I believe you must still make your mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, so we're going to see way less management, aren't we, behind the wheel? We saw a decent amount yesterday with cars struggling with the rear axle and that thermal degradation by the end of the race. It's warmer today, but the race is going to be much, much shorter than a traditional feature race distance. So they're going to be getting after it quicker. And we have seen some tyre changes, which I think we've seen some tyre change. No, actually, that's Correa, who started on the soft compound tyre. So he's continuing on that tyre. Let's see how they run into the next phase of the race, though.
Alex, from a driver's point of view, you've taken plenty of red flags and delays and sat there like the drivers that remain in the race. Is there any process that you have to actively engage in terms of like, right, let's go through the procedure again, or is it just all instinct at this stage?
I think the main thing you have to think about is actually switching off when the red flag comes out and you know that there's going to be a decent wait. You've got to make sure you let your mind rest, because you've got to have full focus then for the rest of the racing distance, and you'll just run out of steam, run out of concentration if you keep your mind in the race for the whole of that stoppage. So turn your mind off, and then the stress of trying to get the result, the pressure of expectation of what you want to try and achieve will always bring you back into the correct mindset to restart the race. You go again, you fist bump your mechanic again, you get in the car, you tighten your belts to your favorite position again, and all of a sudden it feels like the race is starting afresh.
It is the greatest sport. We absolutely love it, but it is a sport with danger as an element, and the final alterations to the circuit being made there. They have worked so hard. I just want to underline what Alex said as well. The enthusiasm of the circuit staff and the marshals here. It is a brilliant, brilliant venue, and they work so hard to make sure that it's in the best possible condition. The fluid would have been dropped by the cars, certainly of mine, certainly of Marty. One on the right-hand side, if you look from the driver's point of view down to turn one on the left-hand side was Marty, who was towards the pit wall side. Here is Marty's teammate, Isaac Hadjar, who's going to just have to go on the attack. And if you're a driver who struggled a bit with degradation yesterday, this is an amazing, amazing twist for you, because as Alex has said, it's maximum attack time now. We're going to be condensed down. We did see the tyres degrade, though, after about 10 laps, didn't we, yesterday?
Looking at drivers like Victor Martins, though, who found really nice pace early on in the race yesterday and was able to attack again at the beginning of the race today, actually slightly to his detriment with Antonelli being under pressure then after turn one from Maloney. Those drivers are definitely going to be moving through the field as early as possible, but teams may well tweak the tyre pressure as well here. They're allowed to do that just to give them that little bit more instant grip, because drivers will be looking to try to make moves much earlier. It's going to be all action, certainly, on the restart. We've got a track surface slippery in track sector 21, so that will be the spillage. They've done everything that they can do for that. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody is caught out nor in the braking zone. Of course, we're not going to have a restart from the line as a standing start. We're going to go for a rolling start, but it is really, really close to the braking zone on the outside for that first corner.
Indeed it is. Thank you, Alex. And Alex and Omi, this is going to be interesting now. A timed race before the end of this one, but still going to the pit stop. Confirmed out, Maney, Goethe, Villagomez, Martin, Kulin. So there's some silver lining there.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, of course, a pit stop in a shorter distance, so it's full out attack. So this race, we could get all of the action at once. Even if it's shorter, the action would have been spread out in the normal feature race. Now we're just going to get it coming to us very, very quickly as well. But yeah, with rolling starts as well around this circuit, it can still be risky down to the braking zone if there is a little bit of fluid there. We have seen already we've already seen 2 years in a row previously where we had a crash on the restart with cars going straight up into the barrier, drivers missing their braking spots. We've seen contact between leaders. We've seen it so much on F2 restarts as well with rolling starts. They can be pretty wild. So let's hope that there isn't much fluid down there as well, and we can actually get some action in because we have 33 minutes on the clock to go. F1, of course, need the track at 10, I believe. Yeah. As well for all of that. We set ceremonies as well. So we need to get this done now, and let's hope that we're going to get lots of green laps of racing.
The little owl said that was horrible. Hello, Jack. SHG saying that scary crash on the race start reminds me of the race start from the 2014 IndyCar Grand Prix of Indianapolis, where Sebastian Saavedra, who started on pole, stalled on the grid, then Carlos Munoz crashed into him, followed by Michael Aloshin. Yeah, I remember that race, actually. I was commentating on it as well. I just did not get going when the lights went out. And I think, actually, do you remember when we had the launch of the previous car, we had the problem with the clutches and so many stalls on the grid? They actually started rolling starts for a few rounds. Do you reckon we've got a similar issue now? The amount of drivers we're seeing stall?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was what they did previously, as of course you mentioned. We did do that in 2018 for a couple of rounds at Silverstone. It was as well. So yeah, we did do that just so they could fix it. Now they have got time. They have got time to look into it. We've got some time between now, of course, and Qatar and Abu Dhabi, those two final rounds of the season. But yeah, it's always worse at the beginning of every single generation of car, and then they usually come to figure something out and fix it. Still remains there. We're still going to have it even in 2023. We were getting stalls, we were getting all those moments, so it's not fully eliminated, but it just becomes a little bit less as well. But now no stalling is going to be happening on this restart, we hope, unless someone does spin it and then they stall that way. But we, as you mentioned, mainly Gunther, Villagomez, Marty, Kulin all out of the race. Hadjar dead last in 17th. Well, we're going to have basically about just over 30 minutes with a mandatory pit stop. It's going to feel a bit weird. We're going to have a race that is shorter than the sprint, but we're also going to have a mandatory pit stop. So it's going to be full out attack for the 17 that remain in the field.
Esteban Ocon's going to start the Formula 1 Grand Prix from the pit lane, as well as Lewis Hamilton. So throwing, I think, Pierre Gasly, who's been disqualified, has started from the pit lane anyway. It's going to be a very busy place, but what a bad weekend for Alpine coming up as well. Eyes then to the restart. We've been under a red flag for around about 35 minutes. It's time to get going again with a shortened feature race. Verschoor on pole, Antonelli Martins, Maloney, Bortoletto, Durskin, Mini, Mansell, Crawford, Aron Browning, Hauger Fittipaldi, Correa, Cordial, Maeta, Hadjar, Maney as well. Well, Hadjar's out of the race. Yeah, Hadjar's the last one. Maney out, as well as Gunther, Villagomez, Martin, Kulin. And we should be going green. The lights on the safety car went out, but they've aborted the start. So we should have gone green because the safety car lights are out at the top of turn 16. The safety car lights have been put back on. Start procedure aborted is what we've got. So yeah, they're going to do another extra formation lap. Don't know why, but we've still got the safety car out.
Well, making this race even shorter than these lot are right now. So, well, we've got Verschoor, Antonelli, Martins, Maloney, Bortoletto, the top 5. So let's see how the restart is going to go. They usually bunch up quite a bit. On this restart, it will be critical to gain as many places as you can. We did get into a bit of a situation yesterday where everyone was stuck in DRS trains at points, and then they started spreading out. Today, of course, is just going to be full out attack. So I think we'll see them spread out a bit more. We'll see them go on the attack a little bit more as well. But it's critical for Hadjar to try recover from the back of the field in this feature race to try and score some points to limit the damage to what Gabriel Bortoletto will be gaining from 5th position as well. And keep an eye for the rocket ship that is Joshua Dirksen, who will be trying to go through on the streets.
If he can do the double, rolling start confirmed by the stewards. So here we go. RS around the board. So we should have gone on the previous lap. I don't know why they haven't. It's now it's no longer a lapped duration race. It is going to be a timed race. So when we get to the end, it'll be plus 1 lap if they have it. So it's the time plus 1. What happened to Niels Kulin? Apparently there was damage we didn't see at the start. So that's why he's out. But don't disappoint.
Yeah, of course, I have to avoid it.
Yes, yeah. There's some silver lining. Yeah. Villagomez whacking the wall. I thought he might have continued, but he's pulled out of the race. Safety car lights are out now. Again. Right, let's get going. We need a good start. And Vishal's going to bunch them all up. And as you say, I mean, sometimes this is more dangerous than a standing start, like we keep seeing, because Verschoor won't go until the start line, so he doesn't get a toe down to turn 1 to give it to Antonelli.
All backing off.
Oh, I don't like this. I never do. May as well go 2 by 2 if we're going to do rolling starts, like an IndyCar. If you want to do it properly. Try and minimise the damage, and then maybe have a restart zone, because this gets dangerous. We're going to see this in Formula 1 later when the safety cars come through as well. Here we go. Look, Maloney's looking at the inside of Victor Martins as well. Verschoor waiting to put pedal to the metal. When does he go? The field backing up like crazy. They look like they look like literally they're zigging and zagging across the straight. Verschoor brings them over the crest. We're approaching the DRS line. They are still not going. Antonelli's in 2nd gear. He's right up alongside Verschoor, waiting to go. He's almost pushing Verschoor. He moves to the outside line as they come towards the DRS line. Verschoor goes, catches Antonelli. We go green again here in Baku. And look at Victor Martins immediately got Maloney round the outside. Bortoletto's in there too. Antonelli's going to get mugged down to turn 1. Martins going to defend. Maloney sends it round the outside. Can't get through. Durskin already trying to have a little look on the inside line, and we are racing again here in Baku, and everyone gets through okay. For sure, though, did a brilliant restart, as now we see where that was Mansell trying to have a look around the outside. There goes Hauger trying to pass Crawford as well. Gets ahead of Browning.
Yep, Hauger gets past Browning as well. Dougson, meanwhile, trying to go on the attack. Martin still looking for it on Kimi Antonelli. Down to the braking zone we go. Dougson is not able to get through. That's a late launch from Luke Browning to the inside of Dennis Hauger.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit too much. Browning's going to try and swing around the outside, coming into turn 4. He's going to keep his footing in, though. Hauger knows he's there. Oh, fantastic move from Browning. Can he keep his footing down to turn 5 and 6? Yes. And Enzo Fittipaldi is going to make it 3 wide. That's not going to work out. How is it on contact? Browning keeps his footing in. Hauger comes back through. Fittipaldi's almost in the wall. Browning's now going to have to lift down as Hauger's going to have that inside line into turn 7. Down we go. He's not backing out of it. He is not backing out of it. They're going to go to the castle section side by side. This is unbelievable. Hauger clips the wing. It lands in the end plate. Wow. That was like a frisbee getting stuck in a tree. Hauger forcing Crawford. Knocks off part of the end plate and flies up and hits perfectly in the catch fencing. It's doing its namesake.
Yep, absolutely. That was wheel banging and racing to its absolute finals between those two, both of them getting those elbows out. They know that they've got to go on the attack, and everyone's pushing as much as they can at this stage. Shorter race, still a pit stop to come though, as Browning's going to have another chance to go on the attack on Dennis Hauger down towards the fast, and he's going to be getting the slipstream. They've both cost each other time as we come over the line once again. Antonelli will be getting a good toast, so will Victor Martins. Keep an eye on the French driver, the ART, chasing the Primo as we go down the straight. That's the battle for second place as we come over the line.
Martins pulls to the inside line as well. Antonelli can't do anything about it in this stage without any DRS. He'll have to fall in behind, get the activation zone again and try to get a run down in towards turn 3 as we see Crawford as well. And he was thinking of having a look at Mini. There's Maeta getting ahead of one more Korea.
Yep, so Miata able to get through. They were both side by side down. They finish straight down the main straight, and it was Ritomo Miata just able to get ahead of the American driver. So Miata moves up to 14th position at this stage as the DRS trains now start to begin. Martins is now going to be the car trying to go on the attack. We've got yellow flags out. Browning looking for it on Dennis Hauger as we make our way through the corner. Here is Kimi Antonelli. He's on the back of Victor Martins as we now try to work out where the yellow flag is and who's causing. Yellow flags are in the 3rd sector right now, Josh, and it'll be interesting to see what caused it. It could be debris. It is debris.
That is part of the track, and that's down the back straight. So a marshal should easily be able to run up and pick that up. In fact, we've gone green now, so a marshal has managed to identify where that is. Through the castle section we go. Antonelli holding up with Martins, but for sure not pulling out that second. Let's hear from Fittipaldi.
Wing looks okay to us. Wing looks okay. Hey, it's fine. Go Browning.
Fittipaldi's got more eyes on the race than his engineer. It was Luke Browning's wing that got flicked up into the catch fencing. Oh, and Durska nearly hitting the wall. He was millimetres out of turn 15.
Well, he was doing that yesterday. He's done it once again. Has there been a bit of a mistake from Richard Rashaw on this lap? Victor Martins has definitely closed in, and he's going to have an opportunity to take the lead. Can Victor Martins win here on the streets of Baku as we make our way down the straight now, Josh?
Yeah, there's a slippery surface flag out there as well. That needs to go because it's going to say, well, DRS, yellow flag. It's wrong. The marshals are doing it again. They're showing a yellow flag when it should be a standard oil flag. So the flag's overriding it. They've got that wrong. They need to get that under control from the Azerbaijani marshals. They are showing the wrong flag. Marshal point number 20.1 is displaying a waved yellow flag, but that is incorrect. The FIA messaging board is showing the white flag with red stripes. That is the slippery surface flag, as now the DRS is enabled by the stewards, but it didn't help Martins get to over shore. What is going on with the Azerbaijani marshals? They can't understand their flag colours today and yesterday.
Yeah, all weekend long they cannot understand. Victor Martins though was close on that straight. Had there been DRS, that would have been the move, surely. Now, let's take a look at this amazing brawling that we had between Browning, Hauger, Fittipaldi, and it was Luke Browning. I thought they were about to go side by side, and Hauger just giving a bit of the nudge to Luke Browning, going side by side, corner after corner, and that's where Browning's end plate made a bid for freedom and getting caught in the catch fence, as you mentioned.
It's fantastic. Oh, and there's another winglet. So it's a winglet that's flown off of Crawford. So the other winglet's gone. So he's lost both winglets out there at the moment as well. Actually, that was Correa. I'm being informed. Yeah, it's Correa's winglet that's gone. Because that was my 8 behind us. That's Correa's winglet that's flown off down the backstretch as they come into it. Down to turn 15 again now. Have the Azerbaijani marshals learned what the colours are? That's what we need to understand, because it's that sector. Every time we had it yesterday with Lando, we've had it yet today as well. It's a slippery surface flag.
Oh, wait.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. Let's see.
So the oil flag's gone and the yellow flag isn't there. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's all gone. Good, good. So the 20.1 has been shouted at probably by the race director. So DRS now activated for Victor Martins, who pulls into the slipstream of Victor Verschoor. Verschoor forces him towards the pit wall. Martins sends it up the inside at turn 1 and gets the lead of the race. That was aggressive defending from Verschoor. Martins went very late and it was a pitch-perfect move. But now we're going to have DRS the opposite way round. Durskin under attack as well from Mansell as we come in towards turn 2. Durskin goes a little bit wide. Mansell tries to get through. Yellow flag sectors 2 and 3. Mansell's on the inside line. Durskin's going to try and hold on, but he hasn't got DRS. As you say, here comes Gabriel Mini coming through, trying to make it 3 wide down into turn 4. Mansell goes through. Durskin cut, and Mini's right there. As you said, Polaron coming in.
Yeah, I think Correa could be having some issues, possibly. That could be causing those yellow flags that we're seeing out there on the circuit. Kimi Antonelli's got the fastest lap. He's got Richard Verschoor ahead. He needs to get past Verschoor if he wants to go and attack Victor Martins. This is going to be a very interesting race in the remaining 20 minutes and 47 seconds. If we get a safety car, that can change it. Green flag's back out once again, so Correa's having something on the circuit. Maybe has gone off the road, but take a look at this. DRS gaining with every meter. Verschoor wanted to cover the inside line. He did cover the inside line. Martins got there anyway. Late defense of Verschoor. Bold move to the inside and the position gained, and P1 for the French driver Victor Martins.
One more Correa has stopped according to our timing screens up here in the commentary box, so he's out of the race. So we're down to 16 runners as we come through turn 15, downhill to turn 16. Now the yellow flag is in this zone. Can we see anything from where it is? Has he got off the track, been pushed off? Did he make it back to the pit lane? We don't know. What it says on the timing screen is he's out.
He's gone. That's all we know.
Yeah.
All we know. As here is Kimi Antonelli, as he's going to try and get past Richard Verschoor and chase after Victor Martins. The two drivers who battled, of course, in the feature race in Budapest, where Antonelli came out on top. Martins had to settle for second place that day. Today, though, Kimi Antonelli using DRS, trying to get close. Hauger Browning under investigation, causing a collision.
Durskin, Crawford, Browning all dive into the pit lane as well to make their mandatory pit stop in this race. They restarted this race on the ultra soft tyre, so now they're going to go into the soft tyres. I think they can make it 20 minutes as well. That seems to be an okay distance. That's what, 10 laps? Those tyres can do 10 laps. Durskin gets ahead. Oh, yeah, and is he going to get ahead of Browning? Yes, he does. He gets ahead of Crawford? Yes, he does. Durskin takes both of them again. In fact, Browning gets ahead of Crawford as well. Crawford had a really slow stop there. So Browning's jumped ahead of him in the pit stops. There you go, look. Up to 15th. They need to sweep the track before the race for Formula 1. There's a load of leaves that have fallen. Of course, we don't usually come here at this time of the year. As Verschoor says, box, box. So they've changed it again. Usually Azerbaijan was the start of the European season. Yeah. Now it's the end. Go on, Hermie.
Absolutely, Antonelli's coming in as well, so he's following Richard Verschoor. So it's going to be Trident versus Prima in the pit lane, along with whoever decides to join them for company as well then. As we make our way through, there's our race leader, Victor Martins. Hauger's been given a penalty for the collision with Luke Browning, so he's given a 5-second time penalty there.
To be honest with you, I agree with it because it was causing a collision. He deliberately did it. I thought at the time that's going to be something from the stewards because he deliberately drove into Browning to try and make him back out. So yeah, Hauger needs to learn about that. Don't play dirty.
Indeed. As Isaac Hadjar, his next driver to pass is going to be Tommy Miata, but it can all change around as the pit stop phase is here. And we're about to get them coming into the pit lane now.
Yeah. Martins, Verschoor, Antonelli all dive in. So Zane Maloney leads from Gabriel Bortoleto in second. Is Bortoletto's strategy of an overcut going to work as they all slide into the very dusty, slippery pit lane here in Azerbaijan? Bit of an unsafe release there as well from Richard Verschoor. Antonelli will come up behind. Martins. Yeah, what's happened to Martins? That was a super slow stop home. He's down to third place for sure, and Antonelli jump him.
Yeah, he just stayed there, so I think he might have had to let traffic go. And now Richard Verschoor is in the net race lead with Antonelli in second. Martins, who went first into the pit lane, leaves it in a net P3.
Bad to worse, she said the championship could change around again. This is basically, well, Martins out of the championship hunt, but they're still going to move around. Let's hear from Gabriel Mini.
Okay, good job. Quad it up. We should beat this lap.
Mini being told to do a qualifying lap, then they're going to box this lap. Maloney was told the same. Bortoleto might try his Monza tactic in order to try and get him a race lead and maybe some bonus points. Where is Hadjar at the moment? Oh, he's up in 6th position. I think, yes. God's sake, this championship.
Absolutely.
God.
Everything going on right now as Bortoleto is just going to dive it into the pit lane, not going to be waiting out around as well. So Gabriel Bortoleto diving it into the pit lane. Our top 7 still yet to make, of course, their mandatory stop in this contest. Antonelli right now getting the bonus point for the fastest lap as well, as he'll try go on the attack on Richard Verschoor. Let's see what he can do in the remaining stages of the feature race here on the streets of Azerbaijan. And Verschoor's been given basically a second chance at this, so let's hope he is able to defend and put on a show. He's got 2.1 seconds though to Antonelli, so he's right now in position to maintain it, as we see Maloney dive it into the pit and followed in by Gabriel Bortoleto.
So Gabriel Mini has decided not to box. Mini has taken the lead of the race. Fittipaldi is up to second. Mansell comes into the pit lane, so it's up to the mechanics now to do a really super stop. Zane Maloney away. Oh, problems on the front right for Mansell. Did not get a good launch. He was very slow there. Hang on a minute, Cordeil's in the pit lane. And there goes Richard Verschoor, but can Zane Maloney get out ahead of Andrea Kimi Antonelli? Yes, he can. So it's a net second now for Zane Maloney. That's worked out beautifully. Gabriel Bortoleto is going to filter back into net P4. Which is going to work out, how net P5 maybe? That's going to work out even better as we've got DRS as well on the outside. Zane Maloney's into attack. Zane Maloney locks up. He's going to take out Drake. Antonelli with him and off the track goes Zane Maloney. Clipped Antonelli with a lock up and he's down. Having to select reverse gear down at turn 4. And this is going to be a yellow flag because now he's out of the race. He can't get out of that one. He's gone the wrong way round. It's going to be in the million-point turn. Antonelli had nowhere to go, but that Maloney locked up.
Yeah, absolutely. Victor Martins back up to a net second place. Contact between those two and a lock-up for Zane Maloney. This Formula 2 feature race does continue to deliver. I did say it was going to be lots of action that we would have got throughout the feature race, but all at once basically coming at us very quickly. He has been able to get out. The green flags are out, or he's been removed off the circuit. But let's take another look at it. Antonelli trying to go on the attack. Of course, no tyre temperature for Zane Maloney, just out on the circuit. No tyre blankets in Formula 2. He got to the braking zone. He locked up and he was into the path of Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
Antonelli might get a penalty for that because he caused the contact, and they're going to say it was an avoidable contact as well. That was very cinematic. As we see, he's locking up like crazy, and Antonelli still turns in on him. So, has Antonelli got... I don't know, that front left might used to be hanging on by a thread. I reckon that's a penalty for Antonelli because he had an avoidable contact. Gabriel Mini pits.
Gabriel Mini dives it in, so he's into the pit lane then, and we'll see what he is going to be able to do now as well when he'll rejoin the overcut. Seemed powerful for Zane Maloney till we had that moment. Slightly slow for Prima, but he's back out now.
There goes Antonelli, so Mini's going to fall in behind. There goes Bortoleto, Dirtskin goes through, Aron, Browning, Crawford also slipped by, so that really cost Gabriel Mini a slow rear right tyre. And it has been noted by the steward and Antonelli and Maloney's incident as well. So Mini down into about 11th place. Fittipaldi leads, Hadjar Verschoor, Martins, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Dirtskin, Aron, Browning, Crawford, your top 10. But Fittipaldi,
Well, the man who, the two people who are going for the Bortoletto attempt for Monza is Hadjar, as he needs to try. He could end up very successful on this if it does work out, and Enzo Fittipaldi, who is your leader on the circuit, as Josh has just said as well. As you take a look at the replay, this is Paul Aaron, who was coming under threat from Dirksen, pulling to the outside, and Aaron and Dirksen making contact down the straight.
Well, I've been an advocate of Polo on this year after he got dropped by the Mercedes program in favour of Andrea Kimi-Antonelli. He's done some stellar driving, but that was not an example of stellar driving. That was an example of the Dennis Hauger school of batting the drivers out of the way so that you can have a position. Did not work at all in my book. Oh.
Yep, especially down at high speed, down the start-finish straight as well. In a straight. Here is Richard Rashaw then, as he tries to become a winner this year. Victor Martins has done that already this season. So has Andrea Kimi-Antonelli, and so has Bortoletto Dirksen. Aaron still yet to. And with how this latter part of the season is going, High Tech are the only team letting us down. Every team has won this season in Formula 2 bar High Tech, which is crazy to think when Paul Aaron was our championship leader for multiple rounds earlier on, and he hasn't been able to take it to the top step. And after this, he's going to have four races, I should say, to do it, 2 rounds, and it's going to be very, very exciting stuff. Hopefully, as Fittipaldi dives it into the pit lane.
Richard Rashaw then will retake this. Hang on a minute, Hadjar leads Rashaw second, so Fittipaldi dives in. Hadjar inherits the lead of this race, and now he's going to be praying for another safety car, but 10 seconds now, 9 the gap. It's a 12-second loss in the pit lane on the safety car. All he'll do is maybe get ahead of Bortoletto, his championship rival, but how long are those ultra-soft tyres going to last with 10 minutes 50 plus 1 lap to go? If we get that last lap, because you know what the FIA are like with timings here. I remember Porsche Super Cup in Hungary last year. So, let me have a look. Yeah. Slightly worrying me this from Hadjar, because punctures are capital at this circuit, and he's losing so much time in these sectors alone. Look, 8 seconds now, and Rashaw's catching him as well, like he's reeling in a fish. Okay, no further investigation for Antonelli Maloney. That's a surprise. I thought Antonelli. So why is it 1 penalty for Hauger and not 1 for Antonelli when both caused a contact? In fact, Antonelli caused more of a contact.
Stewards always are pretty interesting. Victor Martins trying to push, trying to get onto the back of Richard Rashaw, who was basically the king of qualifying on Friday. Run after run, lap after lap, it was always other drivers beating him to the top step. Then, when he got his attempt, he took it back away, and he kept going faster and faster, did Richard Rashaw, denying Antonelli by 17 thousandths of a second in what was a very good qualifying session. Right now, the Victor Martins trying to deny him victory. He's 1.9 seconds away, so he's gained about 4 tenths, but he'll need more of that. You'll need to get it to 1 second and inside it to get the DRS, and he'll start naturally gaining, and then he can really go on the attack, and this could be one that goes all the way to the checkered flag between these two drivers. It's all pushed all the way through, as into the pit lane comes Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah, we got to the start and finish right. I thought, where's Hadjar? And then we cut to his on board, he's in the pit lane. So Isaac Hadjar pits. Victor Martins does a 1:57.088. He's got the fast lap of the race. We're coming up around about 3 to go in this one. So this is a very late stop for Hadjar to come in. He's lost out loads of time, and he's not even going to be in the points as Mansell, Hauger, Fittipaldi and Cordial blast past him. So this is great news for Bortoletto, great news for us here at home. We've got a title fight that is going to go down to Abu Dhabi. I can't see it being decided in the night of Qatar.
Yeah, with how it's going, unless one of them continues to have that much bad luck, it doesn't seem like it's going to be decided anywhere else. What about this battle on the circuit? Martin, Rashaw, will it be decided on the final lap of the race? It'll be interesting to see as well. Right now, it is going to be them all continuing to make their way through. Now Martin's making his way through the castle section, and he'll look to gain some time.
I thought he was going to go in the wall there. It was too tight on the entry into the castle section. 7.6 metres wide is how much that goes through the castle section. That's insane. Barely 8 metres. It's the smallest part of the track on the entire calendar. Anyone like to know what the second smallest part of a racetrack is? Lowe's Hairpin at Monaco.
Lovely.
That's the second smallest part on the F1 calendar. It used to be for so many years. And then Baku came along and stole it away. But I definitely do think that Azerbaijan has a place on the F1 calendar. It's a beautiful city, it's a beautiful racetrack, and it always delivers us excitement. Everybody knows, oh, hello, we're in Azerbaijan, that's going to be a good one. David Croft, what have you done by not commentating on this one as well? But Howie Benjamin's going to have a wonderful last race with Sky this season. Whether or not next year Crofty does all the races, I'm not sure. Once you sort of say I'll have 3 off, it sort of becomes a regular. So we'll see how that goes next season. But personally, you could always just do some from the Sky Studios. I'll try that again. You try to do some of them from the Sky Studios. Yellow flag, Omi. This is going to be interesting. Oh, green. Never mind.
Green flag.
Thought we were going to get a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
There. Sector 1, so someone's gone straight on and looped it back. It's
Hadjar.
Whoa, hello. Hello. So Hadjar on...
What's he done?
Oh, and that... Who's ahead of Browning? Polo 1 touched the wall.
Aaron.
Oh, he locked up. Yeah, and straight on.
Oh. Yeah, trying to get fast return me out of there as well. Not having one of his finest weekends. Not a lot of weekends have been in his finest, but he's one of the drivers who is very low on power.
Yeah.
Unfortunate compared to some of the others. Bortoletto would take the championship lead. Formula 3 champion, F2 championship leader. That's what he wants to be called after this round, and trying his absolute best to make sure that Sauber know that he is definitely a contender, and definitely he should be signed for that seat as well. 1.2 seconds, Josh. This is going to go down to the end. 1.3 now. Martins is really starting to close in on Rashore. They are both pushing to the absolute edge.
One wants a junior drive, and Victor Martins wants to get the 3rd driver role at Alpine ahead of next season, now that Jack Doohan's going in, with eyes of replacing Pierre Gasly. And Richard Rashore just wants to win this race.
He absolutely does. As Bortoletto adds even more points, fastest lap right now for the Brazilian driver. And he is really on it, but Martins is definitely on it. Personal best for both of them last time around. We're seeing lots of personal best set as Gabriele Mini now takes the fastest lap away from Gabriel Bortoletto. So they're fighting for the fastest lap, and now they're fighting for the lead. This is coming down all the way to the end. Martins, when he can get in DRS, Rashore's going to be under a lot of pressure, and this is when he'll be defending all he can. But he's lost a couple of tenths, has Victor Martins. 1.3 seconds now.
This is going to be very tight as it comes through 5 and 6. The left, right, back towards the castle section as well. This is where the new city splits, and we head into the ancient territories as well. Been saying all weekend, this place reminds me of York City in the UK, the mixture of old and new. It's a beautiful architectural dream, this place as well. And it's a beautiful city. Definitely on my bucket list to go to this Grand Prix, as we see now out of the castle section, back on into the new city as well. And Martins is closing now. The gap's got to be less than a second. It has to be. Computer's saying 1.3, but it's visibly closing as they come out of 15. Downhill to 16. It's 1.2 now. But I don't think Martin's going to have DRS this lap. He's going to have to use more of his tyres to get a run in. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Yellow flag.
Yellow. Yellows are out. Is this going to be race dictating? Is the question.
Oh, it's Mini! Mini's in the wall at turn 15, and this will deploy the safety car for sure. Gabriel Mini has put it in the wall at turn 15, and a great opening weekend has been put to shame. That's going to have to be a safety car. Well, what we're going to do now?
Yeah. No need to be a safety car. We're waiting for it.
Well, they're going to try and wait as long as possible, give us as much running as possible. If they can drag that car out quickly, we'll see. No need for a safety car till we get to that part of the track. Hauger's going defensive, but he's got a 5-second time penalty post-race, so Mansell is going to go ahead of him here as well. And, we know it's going to be a safety car, but I know what the race control are doing because no one's in that sector yet. Yeah. They're just going to leave it as long as possible before having to deploy the safety car.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah. Good idea, personally.
Yeah. Good idea indeed. And then maybe if they are very quick, the marshals, possibly a lap.
Virtual
If we're
safety
really
car.
lucky.
Okay, that's. Oh, let's have a look at me.
Oh, just locked up straight into the wall.
I like the idea of a virtual safety car because there's a crane right there. But, that's going to have to be a full safety car, isn't it? He's still in the car. He's still in the car.
Get out of the car, Gabriel, really. Oh.
Crane's coming through. There's a wing that's ended up on the opposite side of the track as well. Zane Maloney's boxed, by the way.
Interesting.
Okay, this is a full safety car situation now. I know what they're trying. Oh, brakes on fire now, and it's got out. No, it hasn't.
Oh.
Okay,
Safety car.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I think that was a smart decision to try and give us as much racing as possible, but as soon as you see a fire, as soon as you get all like that, it has to be the full safety car. So, race 2, the feature race, will end behind the safety car here. We'll have the final lap confirmed now. So, as they come across the line, this is the final lap of the F2 feature race here in Baku. Richard Verschoor wins. Victor Martin second, Andrea Kimi Antonelli third, Gabriel Bortoletto in fourth with the fastest lap, 169.5 points. He'll take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. And now, Dirk's getting fifth. Great weekend for him. So now, final lap has been confirmed by the stewards as well. Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah, final lap. The stewards as well then, and Verschoor is going to end up as the winner. Martins will finish in second, Antonelli will be in third, Bortoletto, Dirksen, Aaron, Browning, Crawford, Hauger, Mansell will get points once again then. And on what has been a very wild weekend of FIA Formula 2 as we expected on the streets of Baku, it's been a chaotic feature race contest as well, as Formula 2 then takes a little bit of a break. And we'll return then in Qatar and Abu Dhabi, hopefully for 2 amazing races and rounds to end on what has been a fantastic season of Formula 2 and a very competitive season of FIA Formula 2.
Safety car is in this lap as the time has ticked out. This is the end of the race. So the safety car ending means that they're not going to restart the race. The race will end behind the safety car. It's just that the safety car will come into the pit lane in order not to spoil the photograph at the end of the race. Not even kidding, that's generally a rule. The safety car would come in so that the photograph can be taken as well. Here's Fittipaldi.
So you have to help me out here, man. I have to squeeze information out of you while I'm driving. Come on, man.
Mate, we are P11. We just need to go as fast as possible to go forward. That's the job.
I know, mate, but I need more information, so give me more information. Every driver's different.
Okay, understood.
New engineer for Enzo Fittipaldi in Qatar. Can't see that's going to happen. Yeah, they can't get that wing in time. Well, that was a shame, to be fair. But this is going to be a great race for Richard Verschoor to win. Is he going to be our 16th different winner?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In 16 in 24 races. That's insane. You know, F2.
Just been that year.
And the championship still quite as hot at the front. It's going to be, how many races are there? 4. It's going to be, what, a 28 race calendar this year. Richard Verschoor, though, doesn't need to focus on jumping anybody at the restart. The race will end behind the safety car. Saying that, we have got a green flag. So, okay, maybe we will get a little bit of a race to the line. Green flag's out. So, the race is back on. So, is this going to be a restart or is this going to be a run to the checkered flag? Because there is still an opportunity to overtake. Richard Verschoor will come across the line. It'll be the closest finish in F2 history under green flag. He puts pedal to the metal. Richard Verschoor wins in Baku. Victor Martins is second. Antonelli third. from Bortoletto and Dursken, Aron, Browning, Crawford, Hauger, Mansell gets a point. Fittipaldi, Cordial, Maeta, Hadjar, no points. And Zane Maloney in 15th as well. But where did Isaac Hadjar finish in the end? Yeah, 14th. And of course, with Hauger's 5-second time penalty, that's only going to put Hadjar up into 13th place, so that's not done a thing. But another winner, Omi, 16 as our TV pictures glitch. And yeah, well, I thought that is the closest finish in F2 history, by the way. 14 drivers by, what, 4 closing up? That's insane.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Lovely, fantastic race. Congratulations to Rashor. Well, let's hope he's not disqualified this time around.
He didn't do that. Took the victory.
Yes. What a race, guys. Oh, that was good. Guys, thank you. And Mauricio, I'm with you, man.
You are amazing, Richard. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
Finally, guys, our first win.
There's Richard for sure then. All set and ready to done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, Mina move back for the podium. Let's hand over to Alex Jakes and Alex Bucknell then for their reaction in the post part of this one. For sure wins, Martin second, Anthony third. Mina moving back for the podium. Let's hand over to Alex and Alex.
It doesn't matter that the car's been beaten up. It's the winning one.
You can see the grips of the steering wheel in a straight line for Richard Verschoor. Unbelievable.
I know it was tough with the crash, but you still did a good job. It was well managed.
Yeah, I tried to avoid the contact, but yeah.
Well, Kimi Antonelli with a decent result there, taking his third podium finish of the year. And he's really come on strong, hasn't he, through this phase of the year, Kimi Antonelli, after a slightly slower start. Let's look at the full race result.
4th career win, first this season for Richard Verschoor. Victor Martins will join him on the podium. Reduced points on the right-hand side of your graphic. Kimi Antonelli completes the podium. The new championship leader is Gabriel Bortoletto. Joshua Dirksen, strong weekend for him. He's in 5th. Then it was Aaron, Browning and Crawford, Hauger and Mansell, the last of the point scorers. Then we have Fittipaldi, Cordial, Meata, Hadjar and Maloney. The retirements were Mini, Correa, Miney, Goethe, Villagomez, Marti and Coolen. The big crash at the start involving Miney, Goethe and Marti. And all three were able to get out of the car, which will be the main takeaway from the race today. Victor Martins never got the grandstand finish he was looking for, Alex.
No, super quick at the start of the stint, was coming towards Verschoor. Just a couple of laps, you sense that it was on the cards for Martins. He was so much quicker at certain stages of those final few laps. He'll think that as a misfortunate second place today, and he's had great pace all weekend long. But another podium to chalk up for Victor Martins, coming back towards form in much the same way as Kimi Antonelli is, but with more experience. And it'll be good for him to stand back on the Formula 2 podium, the driver 9th in the championship so far this year.
It will be indeed. Richard Verschoor, after an up and down year, the driver in his 4th season of campaigning in Formula 2, disqualified in Jeddah, disqualified in Budapest, but today it is a Baku victory to celebrate. 17 laps to the checkered flag. Richard Verschoor, fantastic stuff. He is the 16th different winner of the year. P1 belongs to him. Well driven, sir.
Really was. Seeing off the overcut as well. Tricky to get the tyre back up to speed after others stayed out a little bit longer. We had Maloney challenging by staying on that super soft tyre a little longer than Verschoor, but he got the laps done. And while others made mistakes, bringing the soft tyre in for the second stint, Verschoor absolutely nailed it and had the pace, despite the damage, to take the car to the line.
Kimi Antonelli says, well done. Rookie driver going through the thrilling procedure of being weighed. That weight is then added to the weight of the car to make sure we're within the rules. Richard Verschoor trying to pick up as much rubber as possible, given what's happened to him earlier in the season with a couple of disqualifications from good results. In the team's point standings, Invicta find themselves, despite a tough day, Kushmaini as the leaders, Campos in second, MP Motorsport in third. In the drivers, Gabriel Bortoletto leads by 4.5 points from Isaac Hadjar. And this is the moment that Verschoor claimed victory number 4 in Formula 2.
Flat out all the way up to the line to make absolutely sure, but when the safety car came out for Mini, it was never in doubt. Great moment for Trident as well. Sitting 9th in the team standings. Those will be important points for them to take through to the rest of the year. Richard Verschoor salutes them, put a great car underneath him today. As we see the Azerbaijan podium, where in just a few moments' time, 3 great young drivers are going to be picking up well-deserved trophies.
That's Government House, the massive building behind the pit lane. And this is a country that loves a giant flag. And it's got one flying in front of Government House. Lots of overtaking after a half-an-hour delay after that red flag. Verschoor, Martins, Antonelli, the podium. Bortoletto, the new championship leader. Dirksen, Aaron, Browning and Crawford finding themselves in the top 8. The top 10 completed by Hauger and then Mansell. That is our story. The top 10 do still score points in column 3. Despite the reduced number of laps, it is still a point for Mansell in 10th place. No cool-down room. We're hurrying our top 3 to the podium. They won't mind that at all.
Here they are then, on to the podium. Andrea Kimi Antonelli finishes in 3rd. Victor Martins finishes in 2nd position. And it's Richard Verschoor who becomes our 16th different winner in 2024. And we will hear, well, for the first time in a while, the Dutch national anthem. Richard Verschoor gets the Dutch national anthem. Haven't heard that in a while, have we, Omi? But, oh my God, is it nice to hear it again, actually? And for our 16th winner of the year.
Yeah, 16 different winner of the year. Should have already been a winner. He's already been a winner. He should have won in Saudi. And then also in Budapest as well. And also maybe in Monaco. Had the pit stop on right there, but it was an engine failure that denied him that day. But Victor Martins also getting a 2nd place. Kimi Antonelli adding to his podium as well. So fantastic stuff from him. Great podium, great race, cut short of course, but we still got some action in the laps that we were able to run.
It's champagne time in Baku. Richard Verschoor finally gets to drink it, and no, he will keep this race win. A fantastic weekend in Baku for FIA Formula 2. Gabriel Bortoletto leads on 169.5 points. There's only 4.5 between him and the pointless today Isaac Hadjar. What will we see when Formula 2 returns 2 months down the line for a double header in the desert? Qatar will be on November 30th to December the 1st, and then 7 days later will be the championship decider in Abu Dhabi. All to play for as Formula 2 now goes on its break. Thank you for your company this weekend. We'll see you in Abu Dhabi and Qatar to round out this amazing championship. But here from Baku, What a weekend. Bye-bye.